It's Sandra Embleton here, and I wanted to make a video about twin flame loneliness and why it would be a twin flame loneliness as opposed to just loneliness in general, would be to address the depth of being apart from your twin flame, once having connected and then have disconnected. And this is a particular type of loneliness because once the twin flame has been connected with their other soul half, the female and the male have come together, once you've obtained that connectedness and you've produce that love energy that takes you to God, and you've known that energy. And then when the energy is no longer required, God is no longer needing you to produce that energy in your union. And let's say that the twin flames now are separate. And this is difficult for a lot of twin flame relationships, is trying to get your head around how could you not want to be together forever and ever on the physical plane once you've connected and reached those high elevations. Well, the answer is you wouldn't. You'd never disconnect from your twin flame soul. In fact, those were I think I saw one of the videos, those are the ones that actually should be married, are those twin flames that are connected, because they have a great chance of living in a holy communion and being peaceful and clear channels. They're good antennas to produce and create that love energy, and I'm hopeful there's a number of them out there doing just that right now. But the loneliness that I'm talking about is very, very deep, and how it expresses itself is a void, is a vacuum, as like a hole in you that is so big. And then the loneliness comes when you realize there's no other person that can fill that void again, like your twin flame. And the reason that it is your twin flame that must fill that void is because they're the other half of you, and they have the healing parts in them to help you to continue to heal. But also, you're not seen for who you are, whereas they could see you. Your twin flame partner could see God in your eyes and have that mirrored back to them. They could be with you and see God in you and recognize that you walk the planet as a mirror for God. They saw that in you, and they knew that about you when they are in their highest consciousness. They won't see that about you if they do not maintain or reach that highest consciousness due to lower frequencies that have yet to been cleared. Let's make that clear, because the twin flame work is the releasing and the letting go of those low frequencies to move up to love, joy, happiness, pleasure, sexuality, and then move into the oneness and commune with God. And that is the energy you miss. So if you have obtained that, and it is now no longer available to you, what's the hardest part and the loneliest part is you keep looking to see if there's another connection that is as powerful or as strong or as poignant or as life-changing or as inspiring and joy-filling. You look for that, and it's not there. It's nowhere to be found on the planet. So after a while of searching again, after the dissolving of the twin flame relationship, or you might just be on a break too. That's hard, eh? It's so hard if you're one half wants to be together and the other doesn't. But you have to trust. You have to trust there's a reason for that. Easier said than done, because the topic I'm talking about is that loneliness that we feel when it is not possible to be one with your twin flame at this time. And that loneliness becomes apparent when the energy of loneliness is on the planet as it is now. So what's coming up on the planet, what energies that are surfacing to be cleared, one of them is loneliness, because that's really coming up in the news and the media, and in my life it's coming up. So any energy that pops up, it's instead of saying, oh, it's about me or my family or what's going on, which it is, because it's presented as a drama that unfolds in front of you, but depersonalize from it and observe it and say, you're feeling lonely, you're feeling lonely, I'm feeling lonely, I'm so lonely, I'm wanting to be held, I'm wanting to be seen, I'm wanting to be loved. And it's that neediness, that wanting the recognition, the wanting the love connection, that frequency is here. So how can we heal that? How can we move from that separation from the twin and the lonely that follows it? How can we transit into a higher understanding or knowing or letting go or a new thought that we could receive that will allow us to be okay? Because I just want to be okay, all right? Like, it's inside you feel, I just want to be okay. And I think it's the belief that I'll never be happy again, or I'll never see that again, or I'll never have that validation again. And when I go into the awfulizing, go into the lack of faith, go into the, well, wait a minute, what if I was doing such great work with my twin that the energy we produced together was so powerful, we're just on a break right now because we did a good job and God's going to call us to be together at a later time. Well, if I had that thought and that knowing and that expectation, maybe I could let go a little. Maybe I could move out of the fear, maybe out of the loneliness, moving into the faith and go, well, is that possible? Is that possible you could be reunited with them in the future? Well, yeah, it's possible. It's possible, even if what appears to be now, it looks like it's impossible. But there's no barriers, there's nothing impossible for God. So even if your twin flame has left the planet in the physical and remains in the spiritual, at least you've got the couple, the whole soul, with one planted here in the physical and one climbing up Jacob's ladder, so to speak, into the higher realms. And there is a commune, there is a connection. Now, one thing that has been scientifically proven, and I did see it on a Greg Braden video recently, about the two protons that were separated, and no matter, at one point, one was taken 7 miles this way and the other one was taking 7 miles this way, but they established that at any given time, this proton knew what this one was doing. So there was one proton that split into two. They took them one over here, 7 miles, 14 miles apart. And what they did was they were able to communicate. They were able to know the other half of them. And I think what the problem with that is, that being the truth of it, that being what is possible with the twin flame, that you do already know what they're thinking, you do know where they are, you can sense them at all times. And I think the loneliness comes when there's no movement from them to join again, and you're feeling the need to join again at this time. Now, where does that leave you? Where, as a twin flame, where does that leave you? It leaves you in la-la, na-na, never land, not happening. Like, it's an oasis. It's like, oh my God, I'm having trouble growing without my other half. It's difficult trying to keep going without my other half close to me. Because closer together we're more powerful. Farther apart we can still intuit, but farther apart we're not as powerful. But when we come closer together and become the one, now we're a really powerful, strong force. So my guessing is that, well, is it my guessing or my knowing? What does my knowing tell me? Well, there's the part of the voice that cries out is, oh no, how am I going to go on without ever knowing that feeling again? But knowing there's only one soul, like the Highlander, there's only one. I look at John and Yoko and I go, they were a twin flame couple, so for Yoko there's only one. There'll only be that one. So how many years has she spent, and I don't know her personal life at all, but just the respect for the spirit that she was still willing to remain and hold that space, that anchor, that presence on the physical planet for us. Well, perhaps her twin flame, John Lennon's soul spirit, has spread all over the world. Can you imagine that? Him being out there and spreading that energy of love and awareness that he received. Yeah, I think paying homage to the spiritual beings that have gone before us, that are setting the example that not everyone can see. But some of us can. Yes, so we're still going back to the twin flame loneliness, and I know a number of twin flame that contact me, and some of them pretend they don't care, and some of them pretend, like it's killing them. They're not pretending. It's maybe they're just feeling it worse. Maybe they're just feeling. Yeah, I didn't mean to say they're pretending. I think the truth is, and the thought that I'm looking to share with you is that how can I let go of that lamenting, that loneliness? How can I move into happiness and joy where I am right now, even though inside I'm lamenting or actually physically feeling the separation, physically aching from the separation of it, because that's real, and that hurts, and that's hard to. It's hard to go on, and so maybe that loneliness, that lonely energy that's present and making itself known, maybe it's the calling out. Maybe it's the calling out of our hearts. I think it's a calling out of our hearts to know God. And without our twin flame, we miss that mirror. Because our mirror is our twin, our soul half is the perfect mirror for us to see God. And once you've looked through the perfect mirror, there is no other. There is no other one. And that makes it so special, but makes it so deep a lament, a deep a grief, deep a loss. Because it's, and the comfort is you can still speak with them on the inner and hear them, talk to them all the time, which is amazing. Which is a true twin flame relationship. You can hear each other and have conversations on the inner all the time, and so they're there and they can talk to you. But I guess the struggle can be too is the argument is like, yes, I know that's true, but I still feel sorry for myself because the physical aspect of it was so powerful and so wonderful. The sexuality was so intense and so, just like, discovery. You're in Wonderland discovering new things, new frequencies, new awarenesses together. Man, there's nothing that takes place of discovering those things with somebody. You want to share the joy. So, I don't know, you're probably watching this video now. What's the wisdom, Sandra? What are we getting at? What's the point? How can I feel better? I can't make you do anything, but how can you feel better about it? Maybe you don't. Maybe I just say, I don't feel better about it. I feel like crap. I feel like crap being separated. I feel like crap. I'm lonely. I'm torn. I'm broken. I'm hurt. And you know what? I've just fallen away from how much more I can be with someone else, and now I'm on my own, being the one half that's maybe holding the wisdom, maybe holding the knowledge, maybe doing the work. I guess I have to, it's like make peace with it. How can I make peace of how sad I am and how lonely I am? How can I make peace with that? How can I move into acceptance? What would be the thought that I could receive that would heal that would help with that loneliness, the thought that I could think that could pull me. And what I'm hearing is God's angels are watching over you. And what may appear to be happening in the physical without them, in the heavens, in the spirit kingdom, angels are always watching over you on your quest to be one with your God mirror. Seek out your God mirror. Seek out the person that mirrors back to you the love of God in their eyes. Seek those people out, because they will see you and they will support you. They're here to help you. Because it's hard, because you don't know when and if they'll return, or you'll even be asked to do work with them again. And I know that feeling. So it's like, how do we heal ourselves? How do we feel better? I was trying to hear a thought. Ooh, I just heard one, and it's like, because God wills it. Oh, why would he do that to me? What is the wisdom? How could he possibly have wisdom in this separation? And maybe, like again I said in a previous video, maybe the truth is, maybe they're with God. Maybe God's working on them to heal them. Maybe it's their time away from you to be with God. And it's hard, because if we can't see it, it's hard to let it go, eh? It's hard to have the awareness, well, they're just being with God. Well, they're not calling me, or I'm not in contact with them, or they're out with other people, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you don't know what it looks like, or how God works in them, or is working in them to bring them back to you. And there's a chance he's not at all. There's a chance that this lifetime you were just to meet and do a little work, and that's it. And that's hard. That's a hard thing to let go of, because you remember it, you feel it. You never forget when your soul is whole. You never forget that feeling of being with your twin flame and filling that whole soul. You never forget it, because there's a peacefulness. There's a, now I'm home. Now I can just let go of everything that's showing up as the illusion, and I can just sit here and be seen and be in the higher kingdom with you. Good. We don't have to play the physical games and put up with all the rhetoric and the jargon that goes on with people playing in the physical realms. We can just go right to the spirit kingdom and sit there and just allow God to speak to us, and be peaceful with that. Be peaceful with God, and to be listening to Him. Oh, I just love that. I love that the most. Just being in peace. Just being in the peace. Because that's where God shows up and talks to you, is when you're being peaceful. Yeah, so there we go. I don't know if anybody got anything from this. I'm simply being the voice, but yeah, it's real. That energy of loneliness is real, and when you feel it, I don't know, maybe I'll just make friends with it and say, hi, loneliness, you're still here. I'm feeling you. What's the good thing about your visit, or the good thing about us being separated? Try and find a positive thought that is the good reason why it's just separation time. And just maybe jump into the faith or the creation of, yeah, but he's going to call me to work with him again. I'm going to do more work with him. I'm going to be connected with my twin flame again. And maybe just hold that thought. And if for what it's worth, just see it happening. Just visualize the relationship healthy and healed, and see that connection, those protons coming together and connecting right in the heart and coming together, and visualizing, holding that vision, and thanking God for working within you and your twin to bring the reunion, either for the first time or a reunion for those who are lonely without their twin. Just visualize it happening. And even though there is that energy of loneliness, just feel it, see it, maybe stop resisting it. Just surrender to it. Just surrender. Yeah, I feel lonely. I feel like crap. I feel broken. I don't feel I can function. Just cease striving. Cease striving. And let yourself feel what you're feeling, even if it's crappy. And that's hard, but I'm going to do my best to practice what I preach and try that. Just feel that loneliness, because it might not be yours. It could be out there. It could be out there on the planet, all that loneliness. And you're here to clear it with love. Maybe just try and love that energy of loneliness into a union of love. With God or with another. Because really, when you are wanting to commune and build a life with another, you're really just wanting to create a world within this world where you're happy, where you're not alone, where you acknowledge that God exists and is operating through you and in your world, and that is living in heaven. And so when you make that commitment, maybe this energy of loneliness on the planet is to move us into that place where we decide, I'm so tired of being lonely, I'm going to ask God for help, and I'm going to ask God to come to me and reflect His love to me through another. All right, well, I'm going to say thank you for listening, Twin Flames, and be compassionate to yourself, because it is a deeper tear than just a breakup. With soulmates and stuff. It's a deeper tear. So acknowledge it and be extra kind to yourself and extra compassion to yourself. And maybe, I guess I'm hearing too, maybe the pain comes in when you're trying to take a relationship that's not working for you and make it into the twin flame relationship. And you're not meant to. Maybe God's moving you from your present relationship into a twin flame relationship, and you need to release this in order to move into that. And that's really hard to let go of something that we know for something that we don't know, isn't it? That's probably such a leap of faith that so few of us take it, to be able to have the faith to let go of what's not working and move into the unknown, trusting that it's God moving you forward to a better environment that's good for you.